Hello and welcome to our webinar today, which is about our new route, which is very exciting. It's our route that is called the Experiential Route Certified. So it's a new assessment for us, for people who want to gain their certified status based on the experience that they've got in the field. So today we are joined by, well, it's myself, Danielle Scott. I'm the Member and Customer Engagement Manager at IWFM. We also have Lucy Courtney, who is our professional standards assessment consultant at IWFM, and also Stephanie Welch, who is a certified member herself, and also London office leader and head of workplace facilities management for Arup London. And she's also the chair designate for our Strategic Leaders Forum, which is a new networking group for IWFM that is there to support people, specifically those people that are certified grade and fellow grade. So really relevant to today's conversation. And the purpose of what we're going to be doing today is to talk to you about this new route, help you understand actually what it entails and what you'll be asked to do as part of the assessment, give you some of the understanding of actually how do you access it, and also just why it's right for you, really. So, and be able to answer any questions that you may have as well at the end. So we'll be going through today who IWFM are, understanding what we do as a professional body, what are our objectives as a professional body for people in workplace and facilities management. We will also take you through our professional standards, so understanding how that will impact the assessment as well. We also would like to talk to you about all our membership grades, understanding our membership pathway and how it leads to this new route that we've created. Steph will also talk to you about some of the benefits and what it means to actually be certified. And then we'll go through the actual new process for the experiential route, which Lucy's going to take you through. And then just at the end, we'll talk to you about how you actually get set up for the assessment, how do you access it, and then we'll have some time at the end for some questions. So hopefully we can answer any outstanding questions that people have. So just to get us started, to understand what it is as a professional body, so what is a professional body and how do IWFM fit into that? So it is an organisation with individual members practising a profession or occupation in which the organisation maintains an oversight of the knowledge, skills, conduct and practice of that professional occupation. So in a nutshell, we're there to support people who are working in that profession, being able to advance their careers, give them the professional development support, whether that be through membership, qualifications, training, but understanding what levels they're at and how do they get to the next steps where they want to be. So IWFM, we are the Institute of Workplace and Facilities Management, or IWFM as we call it, and we are the professional body for people in workplace and facilities management. So the main thing that we do and why we exist is to support people within that profession. We want to help transform organisations and enhance the experience of people who are working within that profession. So our main goals really are to support people and organisations that are working within workplace and facilities management. We want to be a business enabler, make sure that people are having rewardful and impactful careers. And in a very short sentence, and what we really see our vision as is we want to be someone that is making sure that every workplace delivers. That is the main aim for us as a professional body. We was established in 2018 as the IWFM, but we have got a longer history than that. So we recently, as last year, had our 30-year anniversary as a professional body, and that is built on the proud heritage of 25 years prior to that as the British Institute of Facilities Management. So there may be people who are members on this call today who have maybe even been long-standing members and do remember us as BIFM. So it's, you know, what we've done is it's built over quite a long time and a long history, and what we're really excited about now is being able to advance that even further. So us as in terms of a professional body and what we see sort of as our objectives or our key strategies of what we want to deliver. So being a worldwide community, so we do have members that are based worldwide. We have organisations that we support who are therefore then supporting their individuals to be able to enhance their careers, to develop themselves. So it's really important for us to be able to collaborate with businesses across the globe. We are standard setters, so what we will talk about in a moment will be our professional standards, but that is where we are defining the FM competencies. So having that benchmark of what is good, being able to set those standards and being able to then help people move across those standards and actually improve themselves. So it's really important for us. And like I said before, it's whether it's through qualifications, training, we've got membership, but all of it is linked to CPD. It's really about maintaining CPD, improving on that CPD, and being able to support all the individuals. So we are a recognised awarding organisation for the industry, and we are approved by Ofqual as well. We are thought leaders, so we develop research, guidance and insight to inform the FM profession, to shape government policy and legislation, and to help organisations stay ahead of the game. So again, it's just really important for us to make sure that our members have up-to-date information, that we have really key topics always on the go. A really good example of that would be COVID. You know, when things changed so quickly, as a professional body, we had to give that information to our members quickly and make sure that they were up to date on information as well. And being business enablers. So we help organisations understand their FM maturity. We help them build their FM strategy and boost their capabilities and competence to deliver consistently across their operations. So it's really important for us to be able to make sure that businesses are performing and again, supporting their individuals as part of that. So to look at our professional standards, so this is our professional standards wheel. There is a QR code on here. So if you'd like to, scan that and actually have a look, it is an interactive wheel where you can actually have a look at the different segments and what's entailed. But this wheel was created in consultation with industry stakeholders, experts and professional standards writers. The standards can be used to benchmark skills, knowledge and competence for those working in all levels of the FM profession. So it's a really great way for people to come in and understand actually where they sit on this wheel in terms of their levels, where their CPD needs some assistance, where they want to be, and then they can actually build their CPD plan based on this wheel in terms of what do they want to progress in. So looking at our membership grades, so this is really key for us, and this is how people really should be looking at, improving and building their CPD. So we've got all the different grades that you can see here, and right at the bottom is the actual membership pathway. This membership pathway is also linked to our qualification levels as well. So if we look at affiliate to start with, our affiliate product is entry level. So it's people that are just new to FM, they wanting to build their knowledge, they want to understand and get some of the knowledge, they need the access to what IWFM provides. So moving on from affiliate will be when people have actually got a bit more experience, they've been in the workplace for, a few years now potentially, and they may have also done a level 2 or 3 qualification, which you can see on the numbers there. People that are at associate level are probably working at a supervisory operative level, and what they'd then be looking to do is develop more into the managerial. So their CPD would then be both based on actually how do they progress up this pathway into the manager side of things. Moving on to our orange segment, which is our member grade. So our member grade is people that have potentially done a level 4 or 5 diploma. They have a few years of managerial experience now, and they're looking to now expand into more a senior and strategic level. Certified grade which is the grade we're here to talk about today, is people that are working at that senior and strategic level. They're setting the FM strategies for their corporations, they're delivering on that, they're managing the teams that deliver on that as well. And currently how it has been in terms of applying for this is that it's been needed that a level 6 diploma has been required to apply for certified grade. But what we have done now is create this new route into this grade, which is allowing for people's experience to do the talking. And then the last grade is our fellow grade. So this is someone that has extensive experience within the industry. They've done really significant contributions to the FM profession, and they're really looking to give back. And a lot of the time they're looking to their professional body in terms of being able to give back to the profession as well. So why we've created the new route, it's really important for IWFM for members to understand that we've listened. We've had a lot of feedback from our members to say that this has previously been a blocker for them. They've not been able to maybe move up the pathway because they have done all the experience. They're working at that senior and strategic level, but actually they haven't got the level 6 qualification, so they don't feel like they can move up the pathway anymore. So we wanted to be able to remove that blocker for people. We wanted everyone to be able to make sure they could actually progress through the pathway, and all routes being available to anyone, whether or not they've done the qualification or if they want to base it just on the experience that they've gained working in the industry. So we developed this route carefully over the last 2 years. It has been piloted with some governing bodies so that we could make sure that it was robust enough, but also fair enough for people going through the process. So that is what has led us here today. And just to give you an example, this is someone that has actually done the program themselves through the pilot. They've gained their CIWFM membership now. But Martinas said that taking the experiential route to IWFM certified grade was perfect for me, as it gave me the opportunity to reflect back on my career and to pull out key areas of my roles and responsibilities within FM over a 25-year career in order to demonstrate real life terms my experience of working in a complex organisation such as the Ministry of Justice. Gaining the certified grade was a big milestone for me for my professional development, and has also enabled me to apply for and achieve my new promotion within the organisation. So it's really key for people to be able to then demonstrate that without having to do the level 6 qualification. So I want to pass over to Steph now, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about why it's important to be certified grade and take you through some of the membership benefits as well.
Thanks, Danielle. So what does it mean to be certified? The certified membership grade is a recognisable badge of professionalism. So I think within the facilities sphere, many people have struggled with this historically, and that recognition is a major requirement for many. So this helps a lot, massively with that. It signifies that you have met a level of competence, specialised skill, knowledge and experience. And I think that in some industries, people have and or are still struggling with people acknowledging their experience and their specialism. So it will help with this. It shows the individual is operating at a senior and strategic level, because it demonstrates your experience, the length of time that you have been within the industry, your history, your knowledge, and it's highly regarded accolade in the workplace and facilities management profession. And this will only continue to improve and develop as more and more people become certified. So membership benefits, because we're all looking for our benefits, aren't we? What's the reason for us to do it? So post-nominals, so that professional recognition on your signature. It gives you access to support within a network. FM can be quite lonely sometimes, particularly when you're at that strategic level. So having people to speak to give guidance, to bounce ideas off of, can be really helpful. And this will be that benefit for you. Research and insight. So there's a great deal of information on the IWFM website that we have access to, and you, as part of that certified person, and I'll link into the strategic leaders forum shortly, but you will have influence over that research and insight as well. So not only tapping into what's already out there, but the potential to tap into what you feel should be out there. Facilitate magazine. I would hope that all of you on the call do get that anyway. Networking and events. There is, as you know, CPD tool tracking for your development if anybody's ever attended any of the events. Qualifications and short courses. So if you're missing a particular skill set, then that should be there and available, and also then gives you that opportunity to mention as well where you think we may be lacking as well. And then the community groups and forums. So quite a number of areas that would provide support throughout your career and your day-to-day working life. So the Strategic Leaders Forum was a rebirth of the International Special Interest Group that was being discussed some time ago, and we had our launch on the 3rd of June of this year, when Oliver Jones came along and spoke. So some of you hopefully on the call will have attended. The purpose and the rebirth of the Strategic Leaders Forum was to give more support to strategic leaders and those coming through. So it's to promote, support and foster the growth of membership categories of certified and fellows. So that's why I'm here today, and that's where I've come in. And I was fortunate enough to be in a position that the IWFM were already working on that experiential route for certified. So it was good to have that answered when questioned, that it was in process and being piloted. One of the other purposes is to create a group to gather insight and to create CPD opportunities for strategic leaders with the profession across the world. So as I mentioned previously, having that input, having that link in. Advocate for strategic leaders in order that their output for special interest groups meet their needs. Again, what I've already given reference to. Create an opportunity for strategic leaders to network, both digitally and physically, which will help create a body of knowledge. And then bring together feedback and experience into IWFM's insight programs and work with IWFM to create an assurance framework for leaders to engage in policy development and advocacy on behalf of IWFM. So really having some great input into the field and the growth of our profession. And provide representation to support the IWFM to collaborate with leading international FM networks and communities on common objectives. So as you will have seen, there is a LinkedIn link there for us on socials. And if anybody would like to be more involved with the Strategic Leaders Forum, then you'll be able to find more information on the IWFM website. And I'm now going to hand over to Lucy.
Thank you, Steph, and good afternoon, everyone. What I'd like to do is to talk you through how the experiential route is actually assessed and whether it's right for you. So the first slide that you look at shows, we've talked about it being right for people who are in a senior or strategic role. And there's some examples here which you may recognise from our professional standards framework. You will have seen earlier from Danielle's slide that the previous routes to certified required you to have a level 6 or a degree level qualification in facilities management or a related discipline. What's different about this route is we're not asking for you to demonstrate your qualifications or your years of experience, but we're looking to see, are you in one of these roles that gives you the equivalent experience? So either in the senior management role or developing strategy for your organisation. There are two parts to the assessment. So the next slide will show what you need to do for the first part. Obviously today, we're only giving you an overview of how that will work. And if you sign up, there's a lot more helpful guidance to tell you actually how to work through and to produce this evidence. So the first part of the assessment requires you to provide evidence of what you've actually done within the workplace. So for the first two tasks there, we're going to ask you to present some evidence on perhaps a financial proposal that you've put together or you've been leading a project on. It may be some service innovation, something that you've worked on to provide to improve the efficiency or effectiveness of your organisation. It might be related to risk management or corporate social responsibility or a workplace strategy. And that type of evidence that you can produce, that may be something that you have already, that you might have written a project report, either to set up the project or a report afterwards. You may have advertised something on your company website about what you've been doing in CSR. You may have presentations that you've put together for your board. So there's lots of different types of evidence that you can produce. And to support that, which will be the second task, the assessors will be looking for what was your role that you played within that project or that new piece of strategy. And that will relate back to the IWFM professional standards. The person who will be assessing your evidence and your supporting narrative will be a qualified member of IWFM, and they will also have practitioner experience as a facilities manager or working within workplace. So they do understand your world. The third task is looking at key management functions. So that might be financial planning, it might be leadership and management, it might be quality improvement. As Danielle mentioned, this has been piloted with people working within government organisations. And one of the things that our assessors came back and said was that people were struggling with this last bit on the task 3, the critical evaluation or the critical analysis. And so if you go forward to this, suggest that this is something that you look at quite carefully. So it's not just saying we did this was the outcome. It's a little bit of thinking around what would we do differently? What do we learn from this? If we were doing it again, how would we improve on it? And those 4 tasks represent the first part of the assessment, and they will all need to be completed before you move on to the second part. The second part, if we just slides for that, that's actually a professional discussion with the assessor. Ideally, and hopefully, it will aim to be the same assessor that's looked at your evidence that you submitted for part 1 and assessed that previously. So they'll want to know, I'm sure, a little bit more about some of the areas that are listed below. You'll recognise those, I think, from our professional standards framework. So they will ask you about the evidence you've presented, and they'll be looking there to see what role you played within those projects or those tasks. But they'll also want to look at the other areas of professional standards framework to see that you've got coverage there, that you understand what the outcomes are, and that you're working at that level within your organisation. Professional discussion, I know our assessors enjoy it, and we hope the candidates do as well. Because it gives you the chance really to elaborate on your experience, talk about things that you're proud of, things that you've done well, and things that have really made a difference. So that's a very quick overview of what you'll be needing to do. I'm going to hand back to Danielle now, who's going to talk you through how it actually will work in practice.
Thanks, Lucy. So the assessment itself, you have actually 12 months to complete. So you can take obviously a bit more time to gather some of this evidence and to take your time in terms of writing some of the narrative. To give you an idea in terms of our timeframes, in terms of the actual assessing, the initial assessment for part 1, so those 4 tasks that Lucy talked through earlier on, can take up to 21 days. So the assessor will come back to you within 21 days. What they may do is they may ask you to elaborate on some of the tasks. So they will ask for a resubmission on any of the tasks if they feel like you've almost met the criteria, but they just need a bit more clarification from you. So they will ask for that resubmission through the platform that you'll be working in. And that resubmission can take up to 10 days once it's submitted. So the assessor will come back after 10 days. If you've been successful following part 1, you will then move on to the professional discussion, as Lucy said. It is asked that you allow 7 working days before you book in with the assessor for the professional discussion, which you can do through our platform, which I'll talk you through in a moment. This is just so you can prep. So like Lucy said, there will be areas that the assessor may ask you outside of the things that you've submitted before. So it's best just to go through all the topic areas and make sure you've got some preparation on all of them. The discussion itself will take up to an hour. Once your discussion's been had, you will be notified within 5 working days if you've been successful, and that will be through our member and customer engagement team who will get in contact with you. And then once you've completed, if you've been successful, you would then be invited to pay for your certified membership, and then you can start using your post nominals. You'll get your certificate, and everything will be confirmed for you. So just some of the sort of the getting started stuff and actually how you will access it. So if you are interested in this, we have a landing page on our website that actually talks through this process. It talks through about who should be applying for it. It's got some very helpful guidance on there. But you can also then pay through the website as well. So if you are then interested in going forward, you can pay for your assessment fee through our website. You can follow the steps on the website to do this. If you are already a member, you would just need to contact our member and customer engagement team, and you can do that through emailing engagement@iwfm.org.uk. The price of the scheme is, in total, including your membership, would be £890. To pay up front for your assessment fee, it is £592. The certified subscription fee will come later. So we've split that out so you can pay that at a later date, and then just pay the assessment fee up front. The ways you can pay is you can request an invoice, you can pay by credit or debit card on the website, or you also have an option if you would like to pay it by 12 monthly direct debit instalments, which you can also set up through our website. Once the assessment fee is paid or your initial direct debit payment has been made, you will get access to our learner management system, which we are conducting this assessment through. You will receive an email, but also can access the assessment by logging into an IWFM account, which even if you're not a member with us, you can still do by using the email address you sign up to us with. And then you will see it under My IWFM and My Courses, and you can go there and it will redirect you to our LMS platform for you to do the assessment. You can access this at any time throughout the 12 months, and you can go in and do it at your own pace. Once you've accessed the LMS, you'll also find very helpful guidance on there. We have FAQs as well to sort of help you through the process. But you can also contact our member and customer engagement team at any point. They are there to support you. You can do that again through the engagement at email address, or you can also contact us on our phone numbers on there as well. The LMS system itself will guide you through all of the tasks that you need to do, and there is also a short webinar that we hold on the LMS again just to talk you through the process and actually how you access all the information. But you'll only access the information that you're working on at that time. So if you're still on part 1, you'll be seeing all the tasks for part 1. Once you've gone through to part 2, you'll see the information regarding the professional discussion. So just to reiterate, these are all the ways that you can get in contact with us at IWFM. So if you've got any questions following this, or we'll try and get, I've seen some questions pop up, but if after this webinar you'd like to get in contact with us further, you can get in contact with us through any of these platforms, and we'll be happy to support you at any point. So we're going to open it up to questions now. So I'll have a little look in our questions box. If anyone's got any questions waiting, please just pop them in the Q&A. So we've been asked, will we be offering any pre-assessment support to ensure candidates are indeed ready, or give guidance on additional requirements needed before an application? So we've got our landing page on the website that offers a lot of guidance. Lucy also, as Lucy's been developing this scheme, she's put together a very helpful pack, which is around the guidance about who should apply, what it will entail, and that is all held on our website. So that can be accessed to give you a bit more of an overview of what you need. And you can reach out to our member and customer engagement team for any support you need before submitting an application. Is there anything you wanted to add on that, Lucy, at all?
No, we do give examples. So we give examples, and we also give details of how it will be assessed, what the assessors are looking for with each of the criteria that you need to meet.
And this one's also for you, Lucy, because I know you've answered this one before.
Right.
What happens if the work you do is of a confidential nature and you're not allowed to reveal to third parties? Not wanting to sound like I am in the Secret Service, though.
No, that's a good point. And as you say, we trialed this with people working within the civil service, and you saw the example, the quotation from somebody that was looking after the prison services. So obviously some of that is of a confidential nature. So it's perfectly fine to redact information, providing that obviously what you're submitting isn't all redacted. There's enough that the assessors can see how you've met the standards. We suggest that the work that you're submitting has happened within the previous 3 years. If that's going to be an issue because of your role and how that's changed, do talk with us, and it may be possible to extend back further than that. But we appreciate if you've moved from one role to another, you may not have access from your previous workplace. And again, we'll give some guidance on what can be redacted and what needs to be submitted. And also, I should say, once the assessment process has happened and after a sort of suitable interval of time, your evidence will then be destroyed from our side. Thanks, Danielle.
I think this one might be for you, Lucy, as well. Will you be offering Experience Pathway Assistance Programme led by an in-house training team? This would be good for some candidates to ensure quality applications.
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I think that's something we'd have to talk to our colleagues at the IWFM Academy.
Yeah.
I do know with the pilots, they were led by a training and development team within the branch of the civil service that were working through it. So there was somebody there. They could sort of run group webinars and offer support to one another. So I guess some of our larger employers may wish to take that route, and we could provide support for them in that regards.
Thanks, Lucy. So the next one, is there a discount for committee volunteers? So I can answer that one. There isn't a discount on this scheme because we've had to invest in developing it, and obviously, as everyone knows, we are a non-for-profit organisation. But we have tried to be fair. So we've usually we don't do direct debits on assessment fees because we have an outlay in terms of paying our assessors. But as this is new for us, and we do understand it is a significant investment for some people, we have allowed for the direct debit option to be available to people on this scheme, so they can still pay over a 12-month period, so more manageable costs for people. Another one, which I'm happy to answer, will there be a dedicated mentor to offer support? So we've got our mentoring platform on this. So if people are members with us, they can access the mentoring platform and can look for people that can offer support around membership assessments and a certified grade. So that is something that is available that people can do. There isn't one dedicated mentor for this, so it would be down to people's personal preferences and maybe what they're looking for advice in terms of the assessment itself. There are lots of options on there that you can actually look for in terms of the matching for your mentor, so that you can actually get matched with the person that's going to be best to offer you some advice. I've got another one, which again I'm happy to answer. If you're already a member, will payment be prorated for certification? I think what is being asked here is if the membership fee would be prorated. So the assessment fee would still be payable up front. The membership fee you will only pay at the end anyway, so, and that will depend on when your renewal is due. So we would have that conversation with you at the time of your renewal being due. Lucy, I don't know if you want to take this one. So if you pass part 1 but fail part 2, do you have to start again?
That's good. I think. Sorry. Yeah, I think the assessors would try and give you some guidance around the part 2. I think, in all honesty, if you've got through part 1, because there's a lot to do there. It's quite a broad spread of evidence. I think during the pilot we did have somebody. I think nerves got the better of them, and they struggled with professional discussion just because they found it a little bit daunting, and we were able in that case to offer them a second opportunity to go through part of that. It may be that it's a question of coming back with a little bit more experience under your belt, and so you may well be able to use the same evidence that you submitted for part 1 if you need to go through the assessment again.
Thanks, Lucy. I've got another one for you. What if the work you did is relevant but is at a previous employer? I'm currently consulting, so different set of rules.
That's fine. The issue that you may find, though, of course, is that you don't have access to all that information. And I think it does depend on the type of organisation that you're in, and you may, something may have been published, it may have been press releases, it may have been written up in an industry journal, or it may be on the website. So you've still got access to that information and that evidence. And you'd have to perhaps be aware of any non-disclosure arrangements that you had with your previous employer, perhaps.
Yeah, I think this was quite similar. So someone's also asked, having worked in more senior roles previously and have taken a slightly more junior role, will this prevent participation? But I think from what you're saying, there's no criteria in terms of what role you're currently holding. It's more about your previous experience and if you can demonstrate it as part of the application process, because there will be evidence that you'll need to submit. So it's very much dependent on what information you have access to as part of your previous roles and whether or not you've got it available to submit as part of this. And I think we've got one last one. If your application is unsuccessful, is there a period of time before you can reapply? So I'm happy to answer this one, Lucy. So I think what our assessors will do is they will give you advice on what you need to work towards as sort of forward feedback in terms of where you need to work on to get to your certified status. And within that, they will sort of give advice in terms of timeframes as well. So that it's going to be on an individual basis, really, because it depends on what work's needed. It could be that there's only one part of the professional standards that you need to work on, and there could be some support that we can offer in terms of that. So it will be on an individual basis, but that advice will be given at the time by the assessor. I think that's all our questions. I will just double check the chat just to make sure.
There's one more, Danielle.
Oh, is there? Oh, are the different criteria weighted? So I think, Lucy, are you okay to take that one? Lucy's struggling with coming off mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, to an extent, because actually with the first task, you have a choice of 5 different areas. So your evidence will probably be focused on one or possibly 2 of those. And what the purpose of the professional discussion will be, or part of the professional discussion, will look at other areas perhaps that you've not put within your evidence. So it will try to be as broad as possible, but recognising that no single role will cover absolutely everything within the professional standards framework. So to that extent, you can choose which areas you're focused on for the evidence that you put forward and your supporting narrative to that evidence.
Thanks, Lucy. Brilliant. Okay. I think we've answered all the questions, but again, we're very happy for anyone to reach out after this to speak with us, to understand a little bit more about the process or what's involved. We're very happy to answer any questions along those lines and what support we can give people. In our chat, there is just a bit of signpostage to where you can find out some more information on this route. So it is available on our website. There is really helpful guidance on there, and later on today you'll find information, including the recording of this webinar. So if you want to watch it back at all or share with colleagues, please visit the link in the chat. Thank you so much to everyone that has joined today. It's been a pleasure to speak with people today. I hope everyone's as excited as we are about the launch of this, and we hope to see some of you soon for the assessment. Thanks, everyone.